All right, good morning traders, and welcome to the live trading webinar today with JTrader, a stocks trader. He'll come in a few minutes, and we are going to go through live trading in stocks. JTrader comes up with some great trading ideas and setups, very specific to his way of trading, and that's exactly what we want to get across in these webinars. How he reads order flow. Tomorrow we have Scott Pulcini, and he'll be trading futures. How does he trade futures? What are his ways of looking at the market, his mindset, his risk management, how he manages his trades, and get the insights here from other professional traders. That is the goal. It is part of our education. First, we have the educational course on order flow. Learn about it there. Come to the advanced webinars then here at 10 a.m. That we go through Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, and we go through order flow in detail in the live market, so you can apply what you learned. And now we have, or we've had for quite a while, other professional traders. Guys, it's not just this as well. We also, in our Discord, I would really encourage you to come over and check it out. We have many other streamers and traders also on YouTube. We have Rain for crypto markets at 8:30 a.m. East Coast time. Then we have Tom B immediately following this webinar at 11:30 East Coast. And then we have Doug right after that, Doug Plus, Options with Doug. So if you're options trader on stocks, Doug's going to go through it in detail and has some very unique strategies. Tom B, he's a volume profile trader. We also have the Algo boys. They're going through their proprietary levels on looking for heavy algorithmic activity and then order flow around those levels. So we have a lot, and it's really great stuff. I'm really happy about offering this to everybody. Yeah, please come and check it out. Our Discord channel is really growing. JTrader is also a mentor, educator. We'll put this into the chat for you so you can reach out to him if you want to be educated or mentored by JTrader. I've got to go through the disclosures here, just these two on the top, and then we'll jump right into the live markets. I'll go through some analysis here before JTrader comes in, and then we'll turn it over to him. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Live trading is in simulation, demo, paper trading mode, and strictly for educational purposes. Live trading executed in simulation cannot accurately represent realistic trading performance. The risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So the takeaway here on the risk disclosures is for educational purposes only. It's not trade recommendations. It's not investment advice. It is in simulation demo paper trading mode so that you can learn how professionals are engaged in the market. And then the risk disclosure, you should not trade with anything that you don't have. The past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Yeah, be careful with that and know what you're getting involved into. All right, let's take a look at this S&P right off the bat. We have a lot of data coming out here. We have FOMC. We had the ADP jobs data this morning at 8:15, and then you can see that in here, right here. And then you can see the move to the downside here. We have FOMC at 2. And then we also have non-farm on Friday. Okay, so these are huge data releases or economic events, and it's going to affect the world basically. I mean, at this point with the strength of the dollar, etc. All right. So anyway, what do we see in the S&P at the moment? Well, the 9:30 cash open, nice move to the downside. and then it's been pretty choppy in here, but it's still moving to the downside. We do see some buying starting to come in here a bit. You know, I want to do something in here immediately for you guys. And we talked about the three elements on the chart yesterday in some questions. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Pro K. And understanding these elements in here, I just want to go through a little bit of the functionality in Bookmap here so that you guys can maybe better utilize the product and what it's displaying in here, because we have a lot of features in here. And you might look at all these volume dots in here and think, wow, this is really confusing. I don't get it. So you can filter for it. So let me show you that. So if you go to right click on your volume dots and click volume dot settings, brings you here. You can cluster them. That's one way. And you can reduce the amount of volume with the clustering. Okay, it kind of works like water droplets, other as a kind of non-technical way of describing it, that other volume around these areas kind of will cluster into a bigger dot. All right, so that's one way. All right, and you can see that already helps here understand who's in control in these moves and where buyers are starting to come in. Okay, so I want to show you that. That's a very, very simple way to do it. I use the clustering a little bit, but since I'm zooming in here and demoing a lot, I need to have more volume. And then there's minimum display volume and trade size in here. Trade size is very simple. Let's put in 50. Okay, so I'm looking for trades for 50 or more. That's it. The volume of 50 or more. One trade for 50 or more. So it's got to be a larger player. You can filter it that way. And this helps. It gives you some insight here. Maybe it's a little too little data, so maybe you try 25, or 20, and get some insight. All right. Now that's one way. Another way is to show minimum display volume, and this kind of does the same thing in essence, but we got to really bump this one up, and let's look at 1,000. All right. So now it's not trade size, it's within a very small time frame, 1,000 lots transacted. That's what we're filtering for here. Very, very small time frame. I don't see much here. Let's go down to 500. Okay, and let's see if we get something. Yeah, we got a little bit here, not much. So let's continue to go down. Let's try 250. Okay, and we're getting a little more insight here. Now, a lot of traders like views like this. It depends on your time frame, your risk tolerance, all that kind of stuff. I just want to show this to you guys so you can utilize it and get more insights. 125, that's not bad, right? Cash open, 125. So let's keep it at that. And let's just use this setting here to look at the volume. Okay, so no, this kind of exhaustion up here, a little bit of buying in here, sellers coming in. Okay, well, I'm looking for another volume dot down here on the sell side, and then maybe we can trade down into these lower areas here. Okay, so looking for that as a possible scenario here. Well, let's see if we get it. Right now, we need to see some significant volume right now. So it kind of exhausted up here in this view of the using this feature, filtering feature. All right, so let's see. Now we need to see, the key here, if you're looking at the order flow with this filter, if it comes down here, well, you'd miss it. You're looking for a big red dot here. Okay, it has to be here. And you're not looking for this. You're not looking for the heat map to show liquidity at 45.25. You don't want to look at that or see that. Okay, you want to see significant volume moving the market. That's the focus here. Okay, and we're not getting it right now, so nothing. And if this was the way that you're looking at the market, then you would be doing nothing right now. Okay, and you would avoid maybe some chop in here. There we go. There's some down here. Now we don't, seeing it down here is not bad. So I'd still look for this to go, but I don't like it below the level here. It could be trap volume, and then we can find buyers come in and trade right up to the other side here. Okay, so just be weary or leery of these, the way or where this trades and transacts. Okay, so you know, we pulled away from that. We wanted to see it here, building strength on the sell side in here, not down here, right? So look what you would have avoided. Okay, so you avoid this trap in here. That was a beautiful trap, in fact. And we stayed away from it. Okay, we wanted to see that volume in here, not here. Okay, all right. So some of the distinctions in here in understanding it. Now, this is the filter for the volume. Let's take also a look at the heat map in here. What is the heat map showing us and telling us? All right, so and maybe let's say you're zoomed out here and you're going, wow, this is a lot in here as well. I don't like it. It's not telling me much. I'm not zoomed in. I'm not trading on those low time frames. Okay, great. Right click on the heat map, go to heat map settings, and then it brings up this window here, and you can filter. Use your upper and lower cutoff here, and then just look for very extreme high liquidity in here. That gives you some insight. So this isn't bad. All right, there's liquidity up here at 51 and down here at 43. All right, and now we see that cluster of buying up here. It looks pretty good, right? So we have buyers, buyers, buyers. However, I see the sellers coming in here, and I don't see that we made a higher high here. So now I'm looking for this to break. Okay, so let's see. We got our sellers here, and we got them just kind of on the fringe here. Wanted to see them here, not below again here. I want to see them. I want to see that sell strength in here. Okay, but here we go. All right, so there we go. Now we're looking for the sellers to follow through on this, okay, and try to come down to 41 or 40, this liquidity here. Okay, so we're reading the order flow again, and we're using kind of filtering or higher time frames in here to understand where price might go next. Okay, so it's still kind of open here, like it's, you know, lower liquidity at on the offer at this area. Looks pretty good, but looking for a little more sell here, sell side, and then the follow through to the downside. Okay, that would be the primary scenario here. Okay, secondary scenario, if this is going to be another trap down here, well, then we'd look for it, and you know, you'd look to exit that position if you see buyers come back up here in a big green dot up here at 46. Okay, because we want to see the follow through now. The sellers have control, and they can follow through to the downside. All right, so anyway, guys, a few different ways to look at your volume and the heat map and filter for different time frames or different ways of trading. It's up to you. All right, waiting for JTrader to come in here.
And I'm here, Bruce.
There you are. Excellent. Let's get you up and running here. Okay, there you go. You're all set.
All right. So good morning, traders. Volatile day. Remember, today we have also data at 2 p.m. This morning we had 4 main small cap running. And also we had a great read on Meta. So we're going to start by Meta, which is the most interesting one. I personally traded Meta. We're going to put over here with Bookmap. So I was looking this morning for the major trend on Meta. And you can see we are, after the earnings, simply downtrending. So they simply dump every single pop. I traced my fibs. So yesterday we saw a retracement over here from the 61% fib. This morning, early pre-market, we saw a retracement from the 50% fib. And in watch list, I said, let's look for a short. So over here, bearish plan this morning. This is 7:30 New York time. On trendline break, look to trade. I will explain also what we saw using Bookmap. And I was looking for 3 different patterns. What I like over here is that we had this trend line break on the big caps. I use this generally on an hourly chart or a 30-minute chart, more than an hourly chart, than a daily chart. The fact is that with the hourly chart or the 30 minutes, I can see also the after hours and pre-market, while with the daily chart, I cannot. The trend is down. Futures, of course, helped us because, for example, if we look at ES all morning, this was fading. So we can put over here ES. We can see also the fill over here, the J lines this morning of ES. And then if you go an intraday chart, we can see the patterns that we had. So rejection over here around 830, 840. This was a pattern that we traded in the room. Second rejection over here. And then when once open 930, we had this pop and fill started to unwind. So the point is, yes was down. Was looking at VIX. We had a tick up over here. And then we were looking for Meta. We were looking also Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia. So all of these. The nicer setup that I've seen today was Meta. Unfortunately, I missed this pop in 95. And why the 95? Because I was looking for that trend line rejection. Okay. So we had the trend line rejection over here. This is one of the best patterns I like to trade. So a pop and fill of that pre-market high. And I was looking for this. So if we can just look a few seconds over here, what I have an NBBO, but if you don't have NBBO, you can even run on less price. It's fine. Then you can see that I have the dots. So you can look how the price action work. We went directly into this supply area at 95. 95 that, as we said, was also this trend line. Once we had the rejection, that's the perfect level where I want to short, or here, simply when we break the day lines. And you can see traders that we started to have sellers. Where I entered, I simply waited. So I was busy in other stocks, so I didn't enter on this zone over here. I started to look for this 94 and 20, 94 area to short. So exactly 938. 938, here we are. So we were looking for this pop and fill. You can see the price got directly into this J lines over here, to this level. Then we start like dumping, lower highs. What I see over here is one structure that I simply like, distribution pattern. So we had our trend line distribution pattern. So we're talking about this time over here, 938, exactly this point. And then we simply started to fill. The good point over here is that once we broke the previous low, 93.50, which was this level over here, we simply had a huge washout. You can see over here directly into the 93. And this was the level where to take partial profit. So at this point, we have some pivots. We had a heat map starting over here to absorb. You can see the fake breakdown right away, push back up. But we didn't have a lot of buyers. So it was a pretty slow morning for the buyers. This was a stock that was simply like dumping. And then we had another trade over here, 93.80s. You can see the price start to make higher lows over here till 10 o'clock. And the point is that Bruce now will confirm, basically is what we see always in the A+ setup, both for long and short. Major rejection J-Slim, major heat map over here with absorption. And then right away, we can see that the price cannot reclaim anymore that 93.84 and dump. So this is really one of the setup that I love to trade. Easy setup, but more than that is the price action is pretty predictable. And I explain you why. When we have a first wave to the downside, And then a lot of traders will miss to short here. We're waiting for the first pullback. Pullback came, and then we're looking for the next leg down. So that is the A plus setup over here that I want to check, want to look for. So perfect spot, and looking for the main fader. And now I'm looking for a continuation of this trend. So we still have a good amount of selling pressure. In the meantime, I'm looking at ES. ES is continuing to dump. So we have a red day on ES. Market is simply downtrending. So we're going to hold and look for this unwind. Of course, all of these setups I shared and covered in the room while I was trading. What I don't like about the market this morning is that generally, and Bruce knows it, when we have FOMC data and so on, I don't really like to trade before that. The market tends to be a little bit choppier. This morning, I can say Tesla was, I would say, moving pretty good. Tesla was choppier. You can see that the trend is still intact on the hourly chart. We have this uptrend. So the trend is still intact over here. We're still bullish on Tesla. We had also Amazon, which was showing over here weakness in the morning. But then held that previous day low. So you can see the push into the previous resistance and then holding the previous day low. Right now, we're going to wait. And of course, Meta, best stock of the day. Beaten down stock. I mean, we are talking about over here stock about $300 1 year ago. And now around $93. Over here was, $385. And right now we are at $90 over here. So huge dump. So I'm running over here on the left, the 5-minute chart. So you can see my trend line breaks. Another trend break over here. You can see the major dump that is still happening on Bookmap. Love to see this. And look over here, traders. Once we break a support, then we want to see a rejection. Okay. So break a support, want to see a rejection. So I want to see a rejection 93.20. We have some support 92.20. So you can see each time we get to a previous support area, liquidity area. So you can see over here some buying at 93, then more over here 92.90. So some orders placed. We have a small bounce, but the trend is still for downside. We can trace a trend line over here, and you can see we're still bearish. So just holding the pattern. This is one of the ways that we trade over here, Meta, for example, today. So looking to short that pop, as we said before. So this is Andrew, so good work. But a point I wanted to share with you to look for those pops to short. And if you look at that 94 and 50, it's exactly over here. This one, you see it exactly into the seed map. So strategy confirmed by the order flow reading. Okay, so both things together. Right now, yes, it's still continuing to dump over here. Target that I have on yes will be 38 and 33. Okay, so yes target 38 and 33. So until I see yes fading, good. I'm gonna stick to Meta over here short. Okay, let's see if we can have a possible add to our entry. So over here, this is rejecting the trend line. Want to see over here a little bit of heat map, so some sellers stacked, so that we can add to our position with a very low risk. So still front side of the move. Let's wait to react over here short on Meta. See if we can reject the trend line. Still no short yet. Holding that 90 MA. So this is our entry. Exactly this point for adding to the first setup that we had over here into the 9380.
Beautiful.
Now, Bruce, look over here. We have this, decent support 93, but what's really pretty big over here is the low of the day, 92, 92, 52,000. So the point is, if we add it and our trade is not working, then we have to know perfectly where to get out. So short, add by strategy. So if your average is above this level, I would use this high for trailing. So maximum risk is that. This is the main support, 52,000. That's a pretty good major support, low of the day. So of course, we'll love to see that breakdown, but in case we don't have that breakdown, we have to have a level where we can trail. So locking in profits. After traders will review Snow. I know that a lot of you are trading this. We're going to review Forza. We're still short on Forza. I will pronounce it with the Italian name, Forza. Okay, curl down over here. You can see sellers again in. So what we can do over here is look for trail partial here. and then the remaining up here. So a consideration over here, tip, trace your levels and your lines on your chart. And it's very helpful and useful, especially when you trade multiple products or assets or stocks or futures. So at a glance, you can see what's your level, where you will trail, and then of course, use your broker right away to put your trailing stop. They're trying to reclaim over here. There's a lack of buyers over here. Yeah, it's slowly grinding, but still no strong buyers. Let's see if this will change. Now it's starting over here to be more green and removing some liquidity, and now dumped again. And this is the point. I don't see that strong buying pressure. And if you see also our stock traders over here on your left, you can see a sequence of lower highs. So for now, the trend over here is down. We have lower highs and lower lows. Only in the last over here 5 minutes, we had the same lows. But over here, there's still a bearish trend. Looking at the hourly, if we break this 92.80, we have possibility to go to 92.60, and then I would say to the next level, 92 or 91.34. This is what I'm watching for. This is the best stock right now to trade besides ES. I'm gonna just share over here one thing. This is our main point. So perfect. And this over here. And same exact, let's say, price action. We had it today on ES. They're still holding the support. There's a lot of absorption at this level 93. For who doesn't know what absorption means, you can see all these big dots over here into the 93 area. Absorption means that when somebody is selling, somebody much bigger in this case is absorbing, so is eating, is buying all those shares, all right? And what happens over here? If we have no more sellers, so there's going to be an imbalance, at that point, demand will be in control, and of course, they will push it back up. Right? So it's just like a fight. We can really call like this a fight between supply and demand. So sellers and buyers. So if you look over here, the structure of this chart right now tells me that we are on a verge to find a direction. Very low volume down here. Okay, this is a contraction of volume. When we have this or a push back up to 93.50 now, and that will simply make a stop out trailing the money, or waiting for this level of breakdown, rejection, and then more unwind. But over here, you can see we're breaking and possibly going to go to 93.50. 93.50, why I say that? Major reason is we have resistance level together with J-lines, VWAP, and order flow confirming. Somebody over here is absorbing as well 93.50. All right, so pretty predictable price action over here. Once we break that, we're going to go to the next level. Next level, we find liquidity. So now we're going to wait for a setup, a strategy into this area. This is one of the small caps that we traded today. The read on Bookmap was simply, I would say, easy. I think almost all room traded this. Analyze over here all this zone. Major short we got at this point on a fake out level. And this is a pattern of fake breakout over here that I call J-Slim. So we can see the major clear out over here of 270, major breakout. Right away, they slam down. And we can see over here that price action, so break of that level, 268, 267, into that liquidity. So look how this is all like pretty easy to spot. And when I say this means I recorded the entire session and share my charts in front of a room with my executions. So it's what we traded. And we shorted on this, I shorted this point over here, and I was risking 275. Why? Possible main fake out. And we were expecting this because it's a very manipulated small cap company and they have this kind of price action. We've seen like, I think 1,000 stocks doing the same thing in the last years. And once over here, the bulls are trapped because this is a major bull trap, then we have our fader. And our fader that we can see over here, this is our bull trap. We see over here, just simply sweeping over here. So a lot of stock traders, in this case, buyers, are putting their stop losses over here. They're getting stop, 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 and major washout. The good point out of this, wait always for a bull trap if you want to short this market in small cap land. Actually, we had the same setup also in Meta. And the second thing, trader, is the volume. Analyze the volume. So we'll like somebody interacts over here with me. If you are traders like following us on Discord or YouTube, you can put in the description, the chat. But over here, you can see the extension from the front side with high volume. And then the back side after the major fake breakout bull trap, low volume down here. So once we have longs that are basically trapped, all right, from here, we don't have any more like buyers over here trying to hold this up, and this is simply dumping. Now, what I'm doing is not that I'm not going to focus over here anymore on the stock. We're still holding this. So I will after put also the chart again in the room and also on Discord. But over here we have our fail. And then we have a lower high. So just like fading reason to hold the trade. Not going to cover anymore and looking for my main targets. And I will use at this point only Bookmap to read the price action. I don't even need to look at the chart, just the price action. So I'm posting over here on our Bookmap. CIJO is saying CNBC talking about TikTok and push Meta. Well, I don't believe too much on that. I'm more a technical trader. So I'm more following over here the price action, looking more for ES as a guide and Meta following. So thanks for the update. But, I don't really look, for Reddit or all of this. But, when you have like an alert, please always reach out. That's, I would say, something very important that I always like, especially to know about chat pumps. So over here, traded, this is just like a simple fader. Then this morning we had snow. We traded this short. we had good pre-market. It was a highly manipulated pre-market. So I'm not going to repeat all the process that we had in pre-market, but I just want to share over here this. All right. So this is the pre-market phase. I'm going to put less price. Okay. So if you look at this pattern, traders, we had over here a three-way pattern, also called head and shoulders, into a major daily resistance. And I was watching this price section. This price section is this, the neckline. So we shorted into this area with this risk and we got all this. And then you can see no volume, right? And then the high volume came drastically. So we got some short over here, cover, and then we got the last short over here in the major fake out. This is an extension high of day for our easy fader. This happened into 10 o'clock. And I was saying exactly this. Market maker fake outs, trap for bear, then reclaim support, easily push to 330 for fake out, then big dump. This is what we are watching for. Okay, we're talking about snow the manipulation. This I said at 901, actually sorry, 1001. So exactly this point over here, this is 1001. So 3 minutes before that fake clear out, exactly here. So I alerted here, and we traded short here. So 3 minutes before having that pattern, I alert the room to look for that 330 too short. The point is, it's predictable, very easy price action. Bookmap gave me the timing, and I was running this screen sharing it. This is our main point, that when you see a small cap, low floater, which has though a history of dumping on day one, because this is a stock trader that had 7 gaps in the past and 7 times closed below the open. So what I'm looking for is only to short at that level. Major fake out over here 330. Bookmap simply very easy to read it. Very easy over here. Fake out, short. This is where we took the short and we held it until down here. Now we took our trade. We don't really care if this will go all the way down or take out of the trades. We already took it. It's fine. Now the J-lines are doing its job. I mean, everybody, I hope right now, knows how these work great. And no more point over here for me to trade it unless another major fake layer of 333 and then holding the trade. So this is the price action today of snow. But let's go back on Meta. So if you're not still profitable, I suggest you do study, because this market is not hard to trade if you know the correct setups and if you know to read order flow like we did this morning. So over here, let's see if we're going to have a rejection too short. Yes, it's doing the same exact pattern. Sorry. Same exact pattern over here. That's a stuff. So this is our short exactly here. 93.30, 93.40 with a risk at 93.50. So 93.40 over here on Meta is a short with tight risk with 15 cents of risk, okay? So why I'm saying this, fake out the VWAP, J-line rejection, nice absorption, okay? So that's exactly the timing of our entry, and then boom, that's a wash. Already take your profit, you are 2R in. Got it, traders?
Beautiful.
And very, very easy. Easy stuff. Looking for the major over here. Dump Bookmap worked perfectly. That's the fake out that Bruce knows that I love. And then we have our trend line break. This 93.40, 93.35. You take your trade, first low. This is the previous support that we were looking. Remember, Bruce, when we said this is the support where we're going to trill. So cover half, put the stop break even, hold the rest, and we're going to look for the unwind.
Yeah.
Easy stuff. Very, precise, methodical. And the only three things you need to know is how to read the chart, how to place your, let's say, trade. So, you have to be fast with your executions. And then, of course, you have to know the order flow. I told one thing this morning with the traders in the room, and I'm going to repeat it more than one time. We had the perfect timing for the entries because we used Bookmap. For example, this was an example of Amazon short, thanks to Bookmap and the price action together.
Yeah, I mean, there's your edge right in front of you. First off, your experience with this setup is, you know, in depth and profound. I mean, you've been doing it for a long time. You know exactly what it looks like, especially with these large caps. You have your higher time frame. You have your setup. Now you're looking at the order flow. You have confirmation there on the stuff in the order flow. You're looking to get short. You're looking to take some off and ride the rest.
Exactly. This is, for example, Bruce, a young trader. So I just want to share with you, the work that some traders are doing. You see, the first thing they do is they're looking at the price action on Bookmap. A lot of traders came to me and told me, I saw it's difficult. It's such difficult to read the price action. No, it's not difficult. It takes just a little bit, like of willpower and studying videos, what we've been making over the years, the educational library on Bookmap. And then, this is a young trader, so it's not trading a lot of size, but you can see he took a beautiful short partial cover using exactly what we just said. So that's the correct process that, young traders should have. Now, for who was looking over here for our trade, remember before we said that we had the big support 92.92, they're breaking it down. So our little trade with 15 cents risk now is going for at least 4 hour return. Major support, good, cover another 1/4. And now we're only holding 1/4, but that's fine because we already have 4 hour return on this one. So Meta, perfect example of trading. And we're going to look for this unwind now. Bruce, breaking that, remember we had 52,000 over here, 51,000 of support, simply clear out over here. They simply dumped it.
Yeah.
Now, if we break this low and we reject, my friend, prepare to see 92.60 and then 92. And that's the power of using all this together. Now, let's see. We always have to think, where's our risk? Okay. So in this case, I would use a relative high, 93. Actually, it's not a relative high. It's a previous major support. It's a pivot. And also over here, I see that we had this big absorption. So our trailing would be 93. Our entry, 93.40, 93.35. Our next target, 92.60, then 92. They're trying to push over here. So let's see. Rejection from that 93. Just the pivot area. Sellers jumping in. Now we know that if we break this 93 to the upside, exactly that pivot here, we're going to have our trailing. There's always a possibility that we're going to push to the 90 MA and then fake and go down, but we're going to be conservative, lock in profits if that's necessary. We're using that 93.05 over here, pivot. More than pivot, what I like, previous demand zone, now becoming supply area. What I see on Bookmap, we're gonna bring this down. Oh, just like, I believe I can drag it. Bruce, can I actually drag these? No, right?
Drag what?
The
Yeah, I
line
mean
that,
you have to right click on it and then enter the yeah, one or the other. Now click on it again, and you see the little handle there. There's a
oh yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Oh, beautiful, thank you. This saved me a lot of time. And I think they're gonna try to push it back up again. This looks like a fake breakdown bear trap over here. Yep, that's the trailing. And then if it comes down, we cannot do anything about it. You know, we can look to re-enter later. Now came this 93.10, but I will simply trail this 93.06 right now. Just look over here. This is a nice engulfing pattern. Almost an engulfing. Should have closed above this high of 93. But for now, this is a fake breakdown. And we call these fake breakdowns bear traps, okay? Bear traps. Let's wait. Of course, if somebody has average from here with this ads, you can risk even a little bit higher, 93.15, 93.20, and maybe use this 93.10 as heat map, I would say as main reference. Good read today on this big cap. As I said, we love to see the trend. This is also trend following. Right now, ES is trying to bounce, so possibly ES will go to this level of VWAP because it's breaking over here the previous high. If confirms over here the breakout of 38.50, then we're gonna have 38.55, 38.56. And this will mean a lot for Meta because if we break this 38.50 and close above, then also Meta will push above 93 and 10. So let's start looking at this. So you can see if you scalp, let's say, just like using these heat maps over here, this liquidity area, how perfect it works. Even if you take your 10, 15 cents and then put the stop break even. So a lot of traders are using minimal risk, so they're scalping, and these are perfect levels to enter. Yes, it's still there, still didn't close above the 50. And you can see the price over here a little bit lateral. Again, trace your levels and your lines on your chart. Do it. It's really helpful, especially if you are a newbie that you want to learn. More heat maps over here. So there's a big chance over here if we curl down right now below 93 that this will dump. Start watching traders if we can break this 93 right now. But everything, as I said, depends also from ES over here, which is pulling back to that previous resistance, 38.50. If it breaks, as I said, 93, instead we can have a dump. ES is doing the same exact thing. So we're going to go to the lows over here. So in this case, this is just to consider. We have, as I said, if we're short from this area 93 and 40, 93, 36, 35, this was a correct trail. Above that 93, so above this demand area that we saw at 1025, of course, this demand area becomes a supply area. If you had a higher average, good to risk, as we said, 93.10, which is a recent heat map. In this case, ES seems like curling back down again. I'm looking at the last part over here. If ES can have this trendline break and fill more, of course, Meta will fill. And we said this morning, ES target will be 38.35. I'm putting some liquidity over here at 93, so careful. If you see this chipping, so they start eating over here 93.10, that's a good reason to get out entirely. There we are. Now what we're going to look for, again, level up here. But we have to consider two things: that in the last 90 minutes, the price has been sideways. Same support, lower highs, but sideways action. We have some movement on FRZA. So we're talking about a small cap over here. Let's review some stats. We have a 7-minute float, so a very small float. A decent amount of volume per market because we're talking about a 7 million volume. Want to know more about this company? And received 50 electric boat reservations in the last 90 days, potentially resulting in over 8.5 million in revenue. So basically, it's a contract winner. And also, we had over here yesterday, X1 begins water testing phase with its electric boat. So now, electric vehicle, it's very popular, the electric sector, especially over here now in Europe. The cost of electricity went up like more than 300%. I just want to check financially over here. We have nothing because a recent IPO history probably. Oh, we have 2 days where we had like some volume, 7, 12, and 34. You can see the high of the day was 10.07, but the volume was actually 35 million, so it was still good. So we had an extension above that pre-market high and rejection. And even here, we had a fader with 10.07 average, high of day, which was this day over here. So looking at today, Forza, we had a high of day at 10.03. Okay, so the funny thing is Forza 3 times, basically the market makers really love it, 3 times, 3 times faded with average high of day time. Let's say make average 10.05, okay? So 2 times faded 10.07, 1 time faded with a high of day 10.04. That's the reason why stats are really, I would say, important. And the setup that we had over here was the setup that we had the last time. So nothing new. You see, it's always the same exact pattern that eventually we trade over here in the, and was this one, in the small cap land. So very different price action, very different manipulation, very different work from the market makers and the algos on small caps versus big caps, or even versus futures. Hope this is clear, but that's really what we have to look for. And right now, we are below the pre-market high. We are below the open level. We're going to look for 250 fake out for a short, for an edge short, with a risk of 5 cents. But that stat, Bruce, is beautiful.
So I'm sorry. Say again. What was the stat there on the
Look over here, Bruce. We had two gaps in the past, 2022, and the average high, the high of day, sorry, the high of day was 10.07. Both times. Today, 10.04. I mean 10.03. Pardon. How can you be so much predictable? So next time we'll probably have it. I know, maybe we're going to be 10.05, or maybe we'll trap everybody and we'll like simply go all the way up. But that's, I mean, that's very, very funny. 10.07, 10.07, and 10.03. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is knowing what you're trading, and and you know that this fits into the way that you have been trading for quite a while with the some of these small caps. Now you have data to back it up to give you that kind of even more confidence in your trade.
Exactly. Exactly, my friend. So we're going to look right now for that fake out. I see the level over here of heat map. That's my VWAP. Also, that's the VWAP, sorry, not mine. So we're going to look for if we can push into this area of liquidity, have a push into the VWAP. If we can reject the VWAP, that would be a good ad, risking just 5 cents. So we're going to stay with this right now. Meta for now, not giving setups. So we're going to wait a little bit. I'm just watching over here, Bookmap, nothing else. They're trying over here to possibly bounce now from the J line, so from that 238. No short over here. No short that I really like. I need to see that VWAP rejection. So for me, this is not a short, even though we can see it came to the zone where they build some liquidity as support and then they start dumping. Yes, we're holding the short, but to add, I want to see the push in that supply area, and that 250 over here was perfect. possibly didn't have like enough over here. I would say they didn't have like enough momentum, enough liquidity, enough volume to push it back up. So let's wait. Still trying to hold the J lines. So we're gonna look at Tesla. Okay, possibly curl and still push over there. So let's wait a little bit. Nothing. Let's look at Tesla. This is not moving properly. So Tesla this morning, we're gonna put the hourly chart. It's on a major support. As we said, we have an uptrend in the last weeks. I start over here from the 1024. I started personally a swing into this area of 207 because this is, if you know me, a big demand zone. And I was looking for that bounce, reclaim of J-lines, pushed upside until we're gonna hold traders. This 232, 223, 224, we're gonna hold over here the trend line. I'm still like long bias. So no major, I would say, swing short or exiting the position. In intraday, we had a morning dip, push to 228, back down to 224. 223 is a level of main demand. If you look, first of all, on Bookmap, we have major support, this 223, and even more 222. 223 is also a pivot over here. Should be an S1. Probably, yeah, it's an S1. Yeah, of course. We had a bounce, but very choppy for about 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. So I didn't take any trade over here. As I said, I'm respecting my plan. I'm respecting my strategy. So even if I will miss this trade, it's fine. Now they're looking to break the support to 23. The good point, Bruce, on this Tesla. And I want to share now one thing. When I say it's predictable, Bruce means this, okay? So let's look together. And you will give me also your thoughts over here. Not this, but this. Okay. So this is an example from, this is an example from a trader that I'm helping. But the point is, this was yesterday Tesla. So Bruce, if you have over here 2 seconds, let's look together. We had the major push yesterday to this area. You can see this number 221, right? 229. I will put some zoom. And this for also all traders out there that are like following. So Tesla over here bounced. This was the 1st of November and got into this level over here of resistance, forming almost an engulfing bearish. This 229 area that we can see over here had a massive heat map just at this 229. You can see over here, heat map, and then starting to for a rejection. So we had eventually a trendline break, and then eventually another trendline break and unwind. Well, if we look at the same price action today, Tesla, we can put over here a 5-minute chart, had a push into that area of 228. Yesterday, 229, big heat map, giving you the fail follow through over here. So the same setup for the short side. Of course, I didn't take this, was not on my one of my first 3 candidates today to trade. But I mean, it's important to observe these things, how the same stock repeats the same pattern over and over and over. Yesterday and the same one today.
Yeah, this is really good content, Joseph. And it's exactly what we've been trying to, well, and have been articulating or displaying or creating content around for years. That what you can see on Bookmap, you cannot see on the other charts. That's where it gives you an edge. And people read about engulfing patterns and, oh, well, I should short it because it's engulfing. Understand what's behind
Alone has no volume.
it has no merit until you understand the volume and the liquidity within it. Now you have something, because it could just be a pullback and a continuation, somehow, like a breakout, an engulfing, a pullback, and continuation. In this case, you looked at it, you looked at the order flow, you knew you had something. So this is perfect.
And the point is that, it's not something we see today and never happen. I just share the same example yesterday, same exact pattern the previous day. So what you have to do, only study the patterns, track. You can see over here really top tick into that high liquidity. And it's a pretty big high liquidity, because over here we have something like, I believe altogether, maybe 40,000. So some good kind of liquidity. And the same thing yesterday. So you have an edge in this case. This is a beautiful edge. Then, I didn't trade this today. I know some of the traders I mentor, they only trade Tesla because it's a beautiful strategy, but didn't trade. So cannot share charts on this. I don't have them, but I wanted to share the point over here of a way to use Bookmap to take that top, to short that top in this case. And again, go check yesterday and you will see the same exact pattern. So this is really a good point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that it repeats. It's not once. It happens all the time. So understanding the order flow at these higher time frame levels is essential if you want a higher probability outcome.
Exactly. And yesterday, Bruce, basically the same push over here into that high liquidity area. This is the number 1. This is Tesla 229. Heat map over here, stack at 229. So you can see traders this big red level. And you can see every single time the buyers over here try to go break it, they cannot. And then, of course, we start seeing over here also some trendline break on picture number 2. And this is yesterday. And this is today, when we have that push into the first minutes out of the gate, first 20 minutes out of the gate, same like yesterday. In this case, yesterday was 229, today is 228. Big level of resistance. So shorting with knowing that the pattern exists because it happened previously and having a tight risk is just what you have to focus on.
Yeah.
Then even if it works, only for 30, 40 cents and goes to break even, you have a minimal risk.
Yeah, and this one here, well, I don't know what it looks like on the, I guess there you have it on the higher time frame on the left, but like just a double top in the
Yeah.
order flow. And look at the double top order flow. First leg into high liquidity, and then it comes down, and you see lots of selling at the bottom there in the trough. Yeah, lots of selling. And then it comes back up and trades, and you don't even make a higher high. You're making a lower high. You're not finding, I mean, you're finding some buyers up there, it's true, but look at the liquidity that comes in and look at the reaction to that liquidity. The second when it pulled and added lower there, yeah, and you're finding more sellers. It should test down to that 226 and a half, just to that liquidity. Take some off, manage your trade. I mean, I'm just looking at it and going through the process. I know you have your own process, but
No,
these are
no, I
just such
believe
simple things to consider.
exactly. The same process you're talking about is this on Meta, using the same exact strategy we just explained before. So remember when we are looking for that 1047 fake out, this is not my trade, is of one of my students, but you can see the level that we called before short, 93.40, the trader took it. And he managed it until this 92.60. So very beautiful over here, Reed. The reason why he shorted, as we said before, so you can spot these traders, is the high liquidity above. So the trader, the worst thing, he will have like 15 cents risk. Now, assuming that each trade over here exit is 30%, I mean, this trader took at least like 70, 80 cents. So he took like 5, 6R average. That's not a bad trade for the day. Only following a VWAP projection, knowing how to read the price action, knowing how to read the order flow, looking for that big heat map absorption, a tight risk above, and then looking for his 5, 6, 7R, whatever they were. And that's a very beautiful trade over here. Very beautiful trade.
Yeah, great stuff.
Very beautiful trade over here. And this is really, I think that this picture resembles over here, summarizes what we use in this case to short big caps. It's all here. This is Meta. This is our price action over here. Really, this is crazy easy. We even call it, live in that exact moment that this happened. So not when the price was over here. And that is your thesis. Downtrend, hourly downtrending, 5 minutes downtrending, 1 minute downtrending, yes, downtrending. Of course, yes, over here was having a push as well. Good. Meta gave us a push as well into liquidity area with a lot of sellers above here stacked. Good point to enter short. Very beautiful trade over here. So we'll put up over here 2 points. And over here we have, I would say, the absorption, the liquidity as risk, and also the timing of here, the entry, which is a double top, which is beautiful. So we can put over here first absorption. We have over here the liquidity stacked. That also, this is our risk, okay? So this is our last risk. And this is the timing of entry. And in this case, you can see the timing of entry by, this was Darius, I think. So beautiful, beautiful work. And with heat map, you can see a lot of these things, traders, and amazing, amazing, amazing work over here. Perfect, perfect, perfect work. Well done.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, it might be a good note to wrap it up on, Joseph. I don't know what you think. If you had
Yeah,
anything
I
else
think,
you wanted to go over.
no, I think we covered, a lot of setups, a lot of patterns. You have anything to add over here, Bruce, or we have any questions?
No, I mean that just beautifully sums it up in my opinion. Like you went over some great stuff today. Very simple, straightforward, very articulate, and they worked out beautifully too. Just
Yeah.
you can't ask for more.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
think we did a good job, buddy.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
traders. So reach out to Bruce or me if you have any questions. We'll see you next week. Study, really, you can become a good trader only if you study, if you really apply yourself. And uh, as we said, me and Bruce, it takes time to become a good trader. Okay, so if you have like fails, don't give up. Who fails in this job is who gives up. That's the only person who fail. So study, work, and be consistent. Good luck.
Thank you, Joseph.